Here we are on bird of the day. I told you, bird you've heard of, and I
Hmm.
bet it's a bird you've got opinions on. It's a
Could
bird
be.
everybody here's probably got opinions on, at least if
Uh-oh.
they live in North America. If you live in North
Hmm.
America, you're gonna have opinions on this bird.
Uh-oh.
I've got some opinions on this bird. Oh boy, this is a bird I've been dreading, because I like to cover birds I like on this one. This is
Hmm.
one that we had to do, because on the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
Oh, boy.
6 Canada Goose.
Mm-mm.
There we go. There they are. Now, those geese are not laying. They were flying, but there they are.
Those flying
Today's
assholes.
bird of the day is a goddamn Canada Goose.
Frickin' Canada geese.
Goddamn Canada geese.
The worst thing exported from Canada next to Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, let me tell you a little about the Canada Goose.
Mm.
So, well, 30 to 43 inches long, so they're big birds. They're pretty big birds. As far as birds go, definitely in the larger side of things. I mean, you know, they're not emu or ostrich big, but they're pretty big. Pretty big. You know, that 50 to 73-inch wingspan, so that's a 6-foot wingspan. That's a pretty big wingspan.
Yeah, they ain't playing around.
You know, it's not, not up there with a lot of those big birds of prey or your albatross, but, it's pretty big, a lot bigger than a crow. Way bigger than a crow.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big range in their weights, 6 to 24 pounds. 6 is definitely really on the lower end for an adult, but the males are going to be bigger. And 24 pounds, man, it's not a bad-sized bird. And unlike a lot of birds, most of their weight is their feathers. Not the case with these guys. These guys got some meat on them. As, birds that are in the Anatidae family, which is goose, ducks, and swans. That's a pretty meaty birds. Pretty meaty birds. And as you can see on there, their body's made about 5% feathers, 4% bone, 9% flesh, and 82% pure hatred and spite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Their lifespan is about 10, 24 years in the wild, so that's actually a pretty good lifespan for a wild bird. And the oldest living Canada goose in captivity was 80 years old. 80 years old! That's like parrot old.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? It survived through pure spite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, everyone hates me, so I'm not gonna die. So down there you can see kind of the range of the regions. So the pink region is only the very warmest parts of the summer. You're going to find them up there. The yellow region is, most of the summer, or, late spring, early fall. You're going to find them. Green, you're going to find them year round. They're going to be there pretty much any time of the year. And blue, that's where you're going to find them in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
We see quite a lot around here right about now. So yeah,
quite interesting that the year-round territory is mostly United States, although it does look. I'm not quite sure, but it sure looks like Toronto got snuck up in there a little bit.
Those poor bastards.
People are always surprised how far south Toronto is.
Yeah, it's very south.
Yeah, it's just like living in Twin Cities. I'm further north of Toronto. I live further north than half of Canada's population. It's weird. Yeah, Canada Goose. I mean, right now, late December, I'm seeing a lot of these guys around. In fact, I was driving on the way home today, and I drove past a pond, and there had to be at least 100 of these guys in it. There's so many. So many. I was terrified. And by driving, I mean I was flying on my commute. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Did you give them the stink eye in the way?
No. You just go by. You do not. Why would I provoke 100 geese? I'm not. Do I look like I have a death wish? Good God, no. No, you see that many geese. You just move on by as quickly as you can and don't draw their attention.
No.
I have to say, though, that second picture, those goslings are pretty cute.
Yeah, that's before they begin being fed pure spite from their parents. It's unfortunate. It's a taught thing, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, here's some information about them. Um, I think one of the things they are most famous for is that they're birds that, a lot of birds migrate, but most birds are kind of invisible to humans when they migrate. They'll just kind of go by. People won't pay too much notice. They may not even notice that they are migrating. They may notice that they show up, like in your backyard, but in terms of actually witnessing their migration, most people don't really see them much. However, the geese, them flying through the air, yeah, that's like textbook migration noticing for humans in North America. You
Mm-hmm.
see a big flock of geese flying in the V, which is, okay, I gotta hand it to them a little bit. Conserving energy by flying in a V formation where they alternate who's in the front. Cut down on wind resistance to cut down on energy. Yeah, okay, that's kind of smart. Gotta give it to them. I gotta give them that.
I mean, you don't
And
have to.
I had to give them another few points. They're actually mostly herbivorous. They will sometimes eat very small fish or insects, but for the most part, they're eat grass and plants and berries and all that kind of stuff. So they're really they're not vicious predators. Okay, I guess more points I gotta give for them is that they are family oriented and community oriented. They mate for life. They live in flocks with other geese and they take care of each other. So I guess that's kind of admirable. Yeah. So okay, but they are hateful. They will
They
attack
very
you.
are.
They are very so. Those communities they live in, they will protect not only their babies but babies of other geese in their community. And if they think you're a threat, they're gonna come at you. You're gonna hiss. You're gonna flap their wings. You're gonna be very loud. Mostly known for their honk, honk, honk,
Honk honk.
honk, honk.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I should point out is that Canada geese are a different species than the white goose of Untitled Goose Game. The goose in Untitled Goose Game is actually the domesticated goose, which is a different species. I mean, obviously you can tell because the Canada goose is very distinct looking. You got kind of those grayish brown feathers on their bodies, and then the black necks with those very distinctive white like chin straps. Would you call it? The Canada goose is very, very distinctive.
They really are.
Now, the thing is that these guys, they're considered animals of least concern because there's a goddamn millions of them. And part of for that is that they're pretty adept at fleeing from and avoiding predators. They're big enough to avoid becoming predators of other birds of prey. Like an eagle's not going to go after a goose unless it's like a baby goose. But, an eagle's not going to try and take on an adult goose because even though the eagle would probably win, that's a difficult fight. It's just not going to happen. So they don't have a ton of natural predators. And unfortunately, as described by the British Trust for Ornithology, they are reputedly amongst the most inedible of birds. Their meat is apparently disgusting. It is tough, not flavorful, and so hunters don't kill geese because, they're not a good game bird. Not tasty at all. On top of that, some idiots in Congress, in Canada and the United States, have made it illegal to hunt them for sport.
How dare they? The system's broken.
The system is broken. However, they were introduced to Australia and New Zealand, and there are wild ones out there, but they are an invasive species, and they're trying to get rid of them. So if you wanna let out some feelings on the Canada goose, and you're in New Zealand, 100% legal to kill them. Just saying. And
good on you, New Zealand. Way to go.
It's not only legal in New Zealand; it's kind of encouraged.
It's a tradition.
They literally DNR people. It's not called the DNR in New Zealand, but the DNR equivalent in New Zealand will literally go around in the spring and will find nests and smash the eggs.
Wow.
Because they're harmful. I mean, they're not supposed to be in New Zealand. They're harmful to the ecosystem. I mean, it sounds cruel and bad, and I'm usually not a fan of killing birds, but it's just animals shouldn't be in ecosystems are not good. It's not good for it. I mean, It's because of species like the goose, well, not so much a goose in particular, but invasive species is what's hurting the poor kakapo. And we love the kakapo.
It was amazing.
Kakapo's so good.
Kakapo's the best Poe.
And also, the Canada goose holds the distinction of being the animal to have taken down more aircraft than any other animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they're big bastards.
We had that whole Captain Sully situation a few years back where he had to land the plane in the Hudson River.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because his plane ran into a flock of geese. And some might say that it's the plane's fault for hitting the geese, but I say it's the geese's fault. I mean, okay, your car gets hit by a train. They don't blame the train. They blame you for being on the train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Geese shouldn't be in front of a big plane. Yeah.
The geese should know better.
Migration season, it happens where planes will run into flying flocks of geese, and yeah, it's like literally geese have successfully murdered human beings. Happy Festivus,
Happy Festivus! Hey,
join us. We're talking about my favorite bird, the best bird in the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, I am curious about this, though, because I keep hearing about people cooking goose for Christmas dinner, but...
Well, you see, they're cooking the domesticated goose.
Oh,
they're not cooking Canada geese. The domesticated goose has been specially bred over the years and selectively bred to be the tastier one. So, thousands of years ago, the domesticated goose probably didn't taste that good, but they... Am I being held captive? Is a goose making me say this? Look, my part of the world, this time of the year, we are all held captive by geese. But yeah, so the domesticated goose has been selectively bred over many, many, many generations to have tastier meat. So the domestic goose tastes a lot better than the Canada goose.
Interesting.
Just like American food tastes way better than Canadian food.
I don't know about that. Poutine's pretty awesome.
Okay, I gotta go poutine. Poutine's pretty good. Poutine's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But you know where I had the best poutine ever? New Orleans.
Really?
Because they have like all sorts of Cajun seasonings on it.
Oh,
it's
I can see
super
that.
good gravy. I mean, come on, it's New Orleans. New Orleans does everything right.
That is very true. They do. They really do.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with anything Cajun. Yeah, poutine's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm having it on Sunday.
Up here in Minnesota, you can get some pretty good poutine. We're practically Canada South.
You really are, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One other thing that actually it's kind of funny. I listened to this podcast this morning, and I never added it to it. But one of the big things that people consider geese to be a pest species is, well, what do you think the reason that most people consider geese a pest is? What one aspect of geese do you think people dislike the most?
Other than the poo and the being aggressive?
Well, you mentioned it the first thing there.
All right.
The poo. Geese are well-known defecators. However,
volume.
They're not as well-known as defecators, or not as prolific as people would make you think. So there's been one of those things where somebody writes a story and it's wrong, and then that story gets picked up, and so it just spreads around, and wrong information spreads around. They were saying that the average goose is they say a goose poops 2.5 to 3 pounds a day.
That can't be right.
And people are like, oh god, that's so much, but it makes sense because there's goose poop everywhere. Well, then an ornithologist was like, okay, I've been reading this everywhere, and it seems like a lot for how big they are. And so he actually studied geese and then collected other droppings and weighed it and then did an average over a whole year, and he found the average adult goose poops 1/3 of a pound a day.
That sounds a bit more like it. Yeah,
that's a little bit more reasonable.
That's a lot.
It's still a lot of poop.
Seriously.
Yeah, 1/3 of a pound of poop a day is still a lot. And in fact, it's actually not that much less than the average human poops in a day.
Yeah, I think if I do the math right, that would mean that the 24-pound goose would be crapping almost 10% of his body weight a day. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah,
Could you
because
imagine?
if 3 pounds on a 24-pound goose, yeah,
Oh,
that's a
oh,
12th of its body weight in poop a day.
that's
It doesn't even eat
ridiculous.
that
No.
much. It's like, where's
Yeah.
this coming from? I mean, now it might be condensing hatred inside of its little birdie
Ooh,
brain and squeezing
good
it
point.
out, but
Good point.
no. So if you read anything about goose pooping more than a pound a day, that's not accurate. So okay, that's on the goose. Well, okay,
Hmm.
so obviously the Canada goose is a rude, hateful, mean-spirited piece of shit bird. But as we've learned today, are they that bad? I mean, I gotta. They're actually kind of intelligent. They're great team workers. They take care of their own, and you know a lot of the stuff about them is exaggerated or not. I don't know. So maybe instead of being worst bird ever, I would just have to rate them as bad bird.
Yeah, I mean, there could be worse ones out there because they're still giant assholes, even with all the
Yeah.
good stuff. It's
And you
kind
know
of hard
what?
to.
I do have to admit. I mean, look at them. They're kind of pretty.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it is Canada's national bird, I guess, or was it the loon?
You know what? You think I would look at? You know, I'm gonna give me a second. National bird of Canada is the gray jay.
What?
What? Canada's
That
doing
doesn't-
something right. They picked a corvid. They picked a corvid as their national bird. All right, Canada. Okay. Canada,
Wow.
you rock. Because you're like, okay, we've got this bird named after us, or we got a corvid. I gotta go with corvid. Right. Good job,
Interesting.
Canada. Love you, Canada.
All right.
Yeah. Gray Jay. So I guess I know what I gotta look up what Canada Day is. When is Canada Day?
It would be, I think, the 3rd, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd of July.
Canada Day is July 1st.
Oh, first. Okay, I was close.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess come July, I'll be doing back-to-back Bird of the Days of the Jay and the Bald Eagle.
I guess so.
People be like, oh, I should do the Bald Eagle. And it's like, I gotta say the Bald Eagle for the 4th of July. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. A lot of people are like, oh, you gotta do all these really great birds right off the bat. And it's just like, well, I don't want to save, like, I don't want to do all the best birds of the day, my first 100 birds of the day. You gotta do some of the lesser known ones. You know, like I did the gray-eyed junco a couple weeks back. Kind of interesting. Not many people know about them. I mean, they are known as snowbirds, but, like, yeah. I'm gonna run into tricky troubles next October there, because I started to run out of spooky birds.
Ooh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I really covered all the best spooky birds, but you know what? There's thousands of bird species, and I can't find interesting things. I mean, there's so many really great birds that I haven't covered yet. So many. I believe this is Bird of the Day number 46. So, well, we're gonna do something special for number 50. By something special, I mean we're gonna do a corvid for number 50. What corvid could that be?
So many options.
Oh, so many options. There's lots of great corvids I haven't done yet. I mean, I've done a lot of the, you know, I've done like the two most, you know, visible of them. I would say the most famous corvid I haven't done yet is the blue jay. There's a lot of jays. So many jays. Yeah, Renpona, that's the bird of the day. It's geese. Our thoughts, geese, still terrible, still hate-filled monsters. But, yeah, you gotta give them a little bit of respect. They're not so bad. They're not so bad. They're just kind of bad. So, yeah. Alright. And we're gonna call this bird of the day done.